Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're watching a replay, say hey. It's good to see you again. I saw somebody had commented that they keep missing the live, but thankfully we have replays, right? Like, thank goodness we have replays, because you will never, ever have to miss me. You'll always have the chance to watch me anytime you want, anytime. Today, we're going to be talking about when has love for someone made you more kind, patient, or emotionally aware. So I'm going to go ahead and add the poll. Actually, it's going to be just a Q&A. How can I ask this? What person, who has made you more patient, kind, and emotionally aware? Who has made you more patient, kind, and aware? I like the yellow. The yellow's cute. Should we do yellow? Like black. Let's see who comes on and let's see what y'all say. Has it already been a minute? Okay, interesting. There we go. So who has made you more patient, kind, and aware? That is going to be our conversation for today. Hi, Ronnie. Good morning. How are you? How are you doing? Y'all, we have 400 more watch hours before we can like monetize the channel. So the longer y'all stay and watch the lives, the quicker it will take for us to get monetized. So if y'all got another phone, I know y'all like to scroll because I do too. I love scrolling. If you have like an iPad, go play this live on mute. Go play the live on mute if you got an iPad. And then you can scroll on your other phone if you want to scroll and come back. Because I know y'all like to scroll. Y'all be scrolling. Because I do too. But we got to get these watch hours. The lips are distractions, not up for a discussion. Okay. Can I see your iPad? Here's my iPad. Maybe I need to do the same. My iPad is dead though. What is this? Sorry, y'all. I'm getting distracted. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Thank you, John. Thank you, Real Girl. Thank you, Creativity. Hey, Brielle. Red, blue. Hi. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Demiria, Brielle. Let's see who's all in chat. Hey, yes. Hey, y'all. How are y'all doing this morning, evening, or afternoon? How are y'all doing? Hello, hello. Demiria said good. Make sure y'all like the live. If you guys have been here before, make sure you like the live. Hi, Michael. Okay, Philadelphia in the house. Hey, Eric. Thank you, Brielle. Y'all, I'm doing really well. I'm really happy. I'm feeling good today. It's a good day. I cannot lie. It's a good day. Y'all tell me how y'all's day is going before we get started. I would love to hear. Amy, you said, can I see your iPad one more time? This is my iPad. It's a little dirty, but it's pink. I need to clean this iPad. It's on my to-do list now. This is my iPad. I don't really use my iPad. I need to use it more often. I need to use it more. Oh, Claire, okay. Are y'all ready to get into the topic today? Today we're manifesting love and belonging. We're manifesting love and belonging through gratitude today. Today's prompt says, when has your love for someone helped you become more patient, kind, my nose, I'm sorry, or emotionally aware? What did they mirror back to you about your own heart? So we're going to be talking about people in our life that has made us more of these things in a way, right? And somebody said manifesting is demonic. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are so crazy. Not y'all, but that person, of course. Hey, John, welcome back to the live, baby. It's Boo said, when I had my son. Yes, I am expecting a lot of people to talk about their children. I don't have any children, so I cannot use that example. Hey, PR. Okay, you said movies at Cheesecake Factory today. Have a beautiful day. Thank you. I need to go to the Cheesecake Factory. I love me some Cheesecake Factory. You said I'm gone big sis, but W stream. Okay, J King. So, and I don't want no kids right now either. Somebody said manifesting is fake. Oh my God, I'm glad you said that, Bill. Bill said manifesting is fake. It's only motivation. Do you know what's so funny about that? Is that literally that's all you need in order to get things in your life is motivation. That is so crazy that you say that. Literally, that's what most of these things are about. Like, we do gratitude because it decreases those limiting beliefs. When you no longer have those anymore, you're more motivated to get and attract the things that you want in your life. So thank you for proving why manifesting is so important. Somebody said, are you in Philly? I wish. I did try the peach cheesecake PR. I did try it. It was okay. It was okay. I wouldn't get it again. Somebody said I manifested you to get pregnant. Thank you. Because at the right time, those manifestations will be necessary. So thank you so much, Bill. Mr. Fox said no. Okay. Okay. Y'all ready to get into the conversation? Y'all ready? So I want you guys, if you can see this poll, let me know if you can see this poll. Hey, Musa, look, Musa manifested this. Musa, I seen your comments. You manifested this. Hey, how are you, baby? It's good to see you. If you can see this right here, go ahead and answer it for me. PR, you said I agree with you on that. LMAO, you're great. There we go. I'm blocking people, y'all. Please do not spam the comments. I'm blocking people. Okay, brother said my kiddos. Okay. So you guys saying kids. You know what's made me a lot more patient, kind, and aware is my friendships with people has definitely made me more patient, kind, and aware, because I realize when I value a relationship, I don't ever just want to leave. And you know, I used to be real good at just blocking people and like forgetting. John said life, period. Lanu Pari said my family and my loved ones. What? Keanu said my stepdad, actually, he passed away. Bless his beautiful soul. Bless his beautiful soul. A humble Barb said money and hoes. Okay. Lamont said family. Yeah, PR, agree. Trolls do make the channel grow. Yes. Thank you. You know what's so funny is that a lot of them really do stay and they'll watch the live for a long period of time and they will troll the whole entire time. So I do be trying to let them stay sometimes. I do appreciate y'all. Yeah, so again, I feel like for me, my friends have definitely made me a lot more patient, kind and aware. I've had to be aware that not everybody is on the same path as you, but that does not mean that you just forget about them and move on. Like, you still need to love the people in your life, because that's who I belong to. That's who I believe I belong to. I do believe in a lot of my friendships. I belong in these friendships. And I've gotten that belief because of consistency and similarities. Like, have y'all ever had relationships where things just like you just say the same things, like at the same time? You know, when I first met my, well, it wasn't when I first met my best friend, but when we started building our relationship for the first time, we had so many similarities, and it was just like little things. Like, we had the same steering wheel cover, except mine was brown, hers was black. Y'all know I love brown. Mine is brown, hers was black. We had like the same favorite flower at the time. I remember I had let her stay in my apartment because she was doing like apartment searching. She had came to visit and she was doing apartment searching, so I let her stay in my apartment. And it was around New Year's Eve. And at the time, you know, around New Year's Eve, that's when I do my little rituals, like vision boards and stuff for the new year. And I remember at the time I used to be like, you know, she's here visiting. Like, I want to really sit and do my vision board, but she here, so I'll just wait until, you know, until she goes back home so I can sit down and really get into my vision board. And I remember we was sitting up the next morning and she was like, you know, I really want to do a vision board. And I was like, what? You want to do a vision board? Me too. And we sat and did vision boards together. So like little things like that, when you see consistency and similarities, well, at least for me, that's the only way that I can build a friendship. Like, I'm not going out and being friends with just anybody, and especially long term, like really close friends, telling you my business, loving you, calling on, you know, calling you, checking on you. I'm not doing all that unless I have seen similarities, like spiritual similarities. Like, when I have to feel like God put you in my life for me to push myself to build a relationship with you. And that's how I feel with my best friend. And that's why I feel like I am a lot more patient, kind, and aware with her. And I try not to be the lower parts of myself. Like, when I get, like, when I'm not patient and I get tired of maybe explaining myself in certain ways, or I'd be like, oh my God, why do I even have to explain this? That's when I'd be like, you know what? I love this person so much. Why am I, you know, doing the most? Like, calm down. Let me be more aware of how I come off, so that we can maintain the high vibration of love that we have for each other. CSW said, God has made me patient and slow to anger. Okay. Lamont said, in my siblings, Knox in my family, Abus in my family. Ryan said family. You said, PR said, moderators suck. Here, babe, I'll make you a moderator. I don't think any of my moderators are in the chat, baby. So my moderators don't suck. I actually have really good moderators. I appreciate my moderators. Let's see. I love you too, Barnabas. Lamont said God. You said psilocybin did that for me as far as high awareness. Okay, but we're talking about people. We said who. But I feel you on that, CSWs. I feel you. Funny and insightful said my wife. Will said my girlfriend. John Singleton said Soul Tribe. Okay, B said good. Wait, hold up. B said shout out my name, Violaka. Okay, shout out Violaka in Northeast India. Shout out to you. You said please, yeah. You said why you not responding? See, y'all get on me if I don't respond to y'all quick. Tosca, you said I want you to start getting swole. You want a Meiana swole arc, and I want it now. Ew. Jonathan said, hi, it's my birthday. Happy birthday. Queen said, girl, my situation is getting worse. Girl, what? John, you said familiar souls. That's your soul tribe. Yes, familiar souls. That's facts. Abu said my family. Shizm said my family. Hi, Flynn. Hey, Rajendra. Thank you, Giovanni. Welcome back to the live, Damien. Nappy said my ex-girlfriend. Oh, okay. Hi, y'all. Hey, Carlos. Hi, Chick. Hi, Swifty. Shout out to Arizona. I want to go to Arizona. I heard Arizona is very spiritual. Music said the girl I'm currently crushing on. Hydrix said I made myself more patient, kind, and aware. But how? How'd you do that, Hydrix? How did you do it? Nisi said my mom. There we go. Okay, so a lot of people are saying family, relationships. You know, I feel like I'm the only person who said friends. Gracie said my dog helped me. She is a helper dog. Ooh, I love that. You know what? Even you said that my cat has definitely made me a lot more patient and calm and kind and aware. You know, when you have a cat, when you have an animal at home, you can't just do it whatever you want whenever you want. I think that's the closest thing to having a kid is having an animal. You know, I have to get up every day and feed, clean, do a lot of stuff after this animal. So my son has definitely made me a lot more patient, kind of aware. I don't even know where he is right now. But yeah, for sure. A lot more. So when you think about these people, for everybody who's answered, when you think about these people who have made you more patient, kind, and emotionally aware, what did that mirror back for who you are? Like, let me kind of reel it in and explain this a little bit more. How did that show you who you are in relation to this relationship in your life? John said ancestors reincarnate through pets. I love you too, Musa. Thank you, Aunt. Cyril said life made me patient. Okay. So for me, when it comes to reflecting on who I am and in my heart level with the relationship that's made me a lot more patient, kind, and emotionally aware, it has taught me that, number one, other people are not a direct reflection of who you are, right? Like if you're around people who just don't get certain things, maybe they're not interested in the same things as you, that doesn't make you less of who you are as an individual. It actually, it creates contrast and you get to see more of who you are as an individual. Anonymous said meditation has been helping me, but a long way to go. Gracie said because I was always grumpy and now I'm starting to be more happy. Okay, happiness. Mike said, I find it funny to hear a 17, 18-year-old trying to explain life. Where you see that at? Sis, what's that on my backside? I know I'm sitting down, but you might have seen that ass. You know, I can't help it. Musa said something took me out, ancestors and pets. Something took you out. What you mean? Something took you out? Took you out the house to have fun? What you mean took you out? Super Being said, get up then, girl. Somebody said, nice hair now. Hey, Bill. I see you, Bill. I've been seeing you, Bill. I'm not gonna forget about you, friend. So y'all are so funny. So what does it mean to be patient with somebody, kind and aware? What does that even mean? You know, we talked about being able to do that in a relationship. What does that look like in real life? What does that look like in real time? Thank you, Musa, Mousa. I don't know how to say it, but thank you, George. Mysterious person said, my best friend. Oh, I love that. I love it so much. What does that look like for y'all in real time? Could y'all give me any examples? I would love to know. Lou said, what? Patience. Stop sign. What stop sign? Gracie said, when you mad, you still talk to them nicely. Ooh. I like that, Gracie. If y'all are just coming in, the question is, what does that look like in real time to be patient, kind, and aware with your loved ones? Y'all know what song is in my head. Let me not get off topic. Ruby said, reading books with unknown authors, I kid you not, they gave me a whole new perspective. Anonymous said, be present when it matters. Gracie said, my dog is laying right next to me. Shout out to the dog. Shout out to the helper dogs. So one thing that I realized is in action, patient, kindness, and awareness in relationship. It looks like allowing people to have their own choices and sometimes make mistakes. John said being spiritually and emotionally mature. Thank you, Brielle. Bonjour. It definitely looks like allowing people to make mistakes and letting it be and loving them just as much. No matter if you agree with what they're doing or not, as long as it's not harming other people, allowing them to make those mistakes and keep it pushing. Richard said, my dad. Okay, I love that. Hi, Jaya. When you allow people to, a lot of people get so attached to people. They think that when people, again, they think that when people make mistakes, it reflects on them as an individual or their relationship that they have, or they think that, well, this person's mistakes is giving me anxiety, so now I have to come in and just control their whole life and tell them how they should deal with the things going on in their life. And it's like something like an example, you know, somebody may want to go to college and you think that, okay, well, that's not a good college to go to. Why are you going to that college? But they want to go there. There has been so many relationships that have ended that could have been sustained if people would just let people make their own choices and deal with the consequences, whether they think it's going to be bad or turn out good for them. Either way, if that person is not feeling called to do that, or if they don't feel like they can do that, then they have to deal with the consequences of their actions. And that is okay to have to do that. God said, I think people are just so much concerned about what other people think. Yeah. Bush said, kids are a gift from God. Just being there makes the biggest difference in a child's life. And the song in your head is pretty fly for a white guy, LOL. No, the song in my head is the one that says, I have one daughter. Y'all be on TikTok? I think it's because I be on TikTok too much. I be on TikTok too much. That's the song in my head. Dragon, you said, I don't like reading, but I own and read lots of books. That's what engineers do. So if you don't like reading, don't take engineering degrees. Okay, that is not on topic. Radex, you said, should couple maintain social connections even after breakup? You mean friendships? Of course. Keep your friends. You can see yourself in my necklace in my heart. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Guy said, what really brings me patience is trying to get rid of those bad thoughts that bring me down. Yes. Yes. I agree. Every day, really working on removing those. Y'all know one of my favorite quotes is by Rumi. And it says, you should not seek for love, but remove all the barriers that you have against it. And I love, 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 love that quote. Because we are love. I believe in my heart of hearts. And it's a very much knowing, not even a belief, it's a knowing for me at this point, that we are all love, and that's what animates us. And our ability to create in this world is because we are that spirit of love. But because we are in a physical realm, that is, it kind of brings it constricts us from just being able to do whatever, right? So we are only constricted to create from a particular perspective at any moment. Unfortunately, we are not God, so we don't have the omnipresent perspective. We only have the perspective that we're in that moment. And being in that perspective, we have particular beliefs that limit us from doing anything. Y'all ever heard that phrase that all beliefs are limiting? All beliefs are limiting. So I kind of forgot what got me on that topic, but somebody said, who is better communicator, men or women? The better communicator is the one that practices. Oh, okay. That comment made me get on that topic. John said, this realm is called Atlantis. What realm? Osis said, for me, patience is more solidified when I project forward my plans rooted in love for creation. Little one said, that's where the alien lost me. Physical realm, what else is there made of a mummy? Okay. That's cute, Gracie. Am I a Rumi fan? I just like that quote. I haven't went too deep into studying Rumi or anything. I just really love that quote. It's my favorite quote of all time. It's actually in my book. So, let me see. I love it so much that it's in the 3rd paragraph of my book. And it's the basis and the structure of a lot of my beliefs and how I teach manifestation and how I manifest myself. You know, somebody earlier was talking about manifestation is not real. It's only about motivation. And that quote literally proves why motivation is important, because, you know, in my own personal beliefs, I do believe that God is I always say this for some reason. I be messing up the wording, but I always believe that God is a motivating force. It's only constricted, but over time it pushes through the constriction. It's like nature. It's like a concrete park being built in nature. Over time, nature will overcome that concrete and grow through it. That's how I see God, right? God is the nature growing through any 3D reality that we create, right? Thank you, Kelly. Norm said, if you don't believe that you are in control of your own universe, you're screwed. Joshua said, they were people once. That is not enough for me. Abu said, my mom. I think you say your mom a lot of times. Kelly, you said your actual name is Melanie. Hi, Melanie. God said, well, how about we seek love from ourselves first before from others? Yeah. And it's not just seek it because it's there. It's more like uncover it. Become more aware of it, in my opinion. Because if you are love, if you feel like you are not getting love, that means that you're just not aware of how it is already in your life. And we always talk about love can be a healthy attachment or unhealthy attachment. But either way, you're getting love from that. We talked about, in a previous live, we talked about women who are, you know, sometimes in those DV relationships, and that's their ideal love. But they are getting love from that because that's their reality, that's their expectations. But is it healthy? Maybe not. So you always have love. You just have to see where your love is coming from. Where is your focus? Also said, we are all love. Love divided itself to know itself and eventually come together again. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Remy said, you never know how strong you are until strong is the only option you have. Yeah. Hi, Lorenzo. Hi, Grace. Bill said, you're making me mad. You can't control your life. Hey, Rabar. Hey, Samuel. Joshua said, God do good, right? God is both good and bad, baby. If God is all things, if you see bad, that is God. God is all things, baby. Okay, saludo desde America, Manuel. Hola, bienvenidos a la live. You feel like I'm talking to you, B, when I start talking? Also says your will is a creative force. God didn't create. We were all willed into being. We have a will, a creative force. Will is the place where Christ dwells. Interesting. Love you too, Naksh. Parmar. Fan K said, what's the difference between manifestation and motivation? Motivation is the force that pushes you towards something. Manifestation is your ability to take what you want, visualizing, or what you're thinking in your mind, and have it come into your reality. Motivation is what's pushing you there. So motivation, think of motivation like a spirit or or emotion. You can feel motivated, but you cannot feel manifestation. Manifestation is an action. Motivation is a thing. Manifestation is something that you do. You can also motivate, but when we're thinking about it in this term, it's more like a feeling, like, oh, I'm motivated. I feel motivated. Manifestation is something that you can do to increase motivation. Eric said, I'm actually the one making myself more patient. How, Eric? How are you doing that, my love? Yes, I love you, love you, love you. Guy said, do you love yourself? Of course. I have to love myself. I am love. I'm literally love. So I can't help but love myself. I feel like for me to love myself, that means I'm anchored into who I am and into my reality. Thank you, Musa. End Time Scroll said, put universe, frequency, and Buddha and other false teachings away and repent. Avoid hellfire. There's one teacher, the Christ. Y'all know I like figurative language. I see the Bible as figurative language. So I see Christ's, you know, we talk about God giving us his son. Figuratively, we look into the world of earth. And what did God give us to maintain this world? The Son. The Son is the ultimate maintainer of this world. Literally. Literally. So, thank you. You are correct. Thank you, PlayZ Gamer. Hey, Abib. Also says, you think just like me. Subscribe. That's who I'm looking for. I'm looking for more people like you, also, so we can communicate. Let's talk. Let's expand on each other's knowledge. You saw me the other night, Andy, on live. Hey, y'all. Hey, Starock. Homelander said motivating. Okay. Thank you, bub. What is a Homelander? You say a chill Homelander. You mean like because I'm in America? I don't know. Shout out to Finland. Finn K said, how do I know if I'm doing manifestation right? What are the signs that you're more motivated? But like for me, manifestation is always a learning experience. It's like an elevator. When you go to one floor, you get to experience everything on that floor, and you've learned everything from the floor below, but there's still more to learn. Like, you're never going to stop learning about manifestation because there's so many things that goes into it. Like, you can study like your physical body, how your physical body manifests, right? You can study like the esoteric stuff, the occult stuff. You can study like the techniques and rituals that people do to manifest, like scripting, journaling, affirming. You can study candle work. Some people do spell work to manifest things. People do meditation, visualizations. There's a lot of things to learn about manifestation, and each time you expand on it, it's a beautiful experience, in my opinion. So the way that you know that you're doing manifestation right is that you're open to continuing to learn. You're open to continue to learn, and you're focused. You'll know that you're doing manifestation right when you're able to focus on that thing every single day in a healthy way. When you're looking at the thing that you're wanting and you're knowing like, okay, it's coming to me. Even if you don't know how, you know in your heart that I don't know how it's going to come, when it's going to come, why it's going to come, where it's going to come. I don't know, but I know for sure it's on its way to me. That's how you know that you're doing manifestation right, is when you're confident in the things that you want attracting into your life. Love you too, B. Hesso. I love you too. Thank you so much. Alex said, your skin is not paper, so don't cut it. Your body is not a book, so don't judge it. If your heart is not a door, so don't lock it. Your life is not a movie, so don't end it. Just remember, you'll always be a star. Okay, period. Eric said, I don't believe in manifestation, but there was a creator giving a challenge. He said, I want you to think about a white Jeep once every day. I started seeing that car every day because you focus on it. That's literally manifestation. How you don't believe in something that you just did? I was just thinking about this before the live. Not that story, but another story, right? You know, I work with children, and this happened a couple of years ago. And these were what, like first graders at the time when we worked together. There was this one first grader who just had such a bad self-concept. Like, he was very negative. And there was another first grader. It was like a group of 3, but I was just focusing on these 2 kids. The boy was like very like low self-concept. You know, he get frustrated if he lost or things were not going his way. The girl, no matter if she didn't get the things right or wrong, she was always just so happy just to be there. Like, but so we was doing some type of activity. I can't remember exactly what the activity was, and it was a competition. And the girl was winning. She was on it. She was winning. She was getting all of them right. The boy was losing. And so I like to teach my kids. I'm not outright saying this is manifestation. I don't ever just be like, I'm teaching you guys how to manifest today. But I teach my kids how to have a resilient mindset and to focus on the things that they want in order to have a better outcome. And I teach them that in many ways. But I started to tell this boy, okay, you see that you're not winning. You're not winning at all. How about you say positive things? Say these positive things. And I told him, repeat after me. And so together we said, I'm a winner. I'm always getting these things right. We said it for like 1 minute straight. I had him say these affirmations. Literally, right after we did that, he got every single one right. The girl started losing. He started winning right after we did that. So I've seen way too many examples in my life, in other people's lives, that manifestation is literally just treating your body right, doing what's healthy for your mind, body, and soul. Like, that's just what it is. Creating positive thoughts, planting positive seeds in your mind so that they can grow in a better form. And Eric Lifestyle, what you're saying is an actual real term. There is a part of our brain, I'm gonna look this up. There's a part of our brain that when we focus on something, that is what creates that consistent experience of seeing it in your real world. I'm gonna look it up real quick. I'm not seeing it right now. I don't want to spend too much time looking it up, but if I do find it, I will talk about it in another live. John said you will see angel numbers too. Yeah. Yeah, I have seen angel numbers a lot when I've seen a shift in my life. Okay, shout out to Jamaica Lloyd. Welcome, Jamaica. Vic said, what's the difference between manifesting and having faith? Faith is like a foundational feeling. Again, faith is a feeling, manifesting is an action. Faith is also a knowing. Like, it's the same thing that somebody else just asked. Whatever the other person was just asking, I forgot what the question was. But faith is basically saying, I don't see it. I don't know how it's going to come. Oh, motivation was that one. Faith is basically like, I don't see it. It's not something tangible. I don't know how it's going to come, but I have faith that, you know, it's possible. Manifesting is taking action and doing so. Doing the things, doing the techniques, learning the knowledge. You're welcome, Fana. Thank you, Esme. John said it's an inner standing. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Thank you, Imnotra. John Singleton said frontal lobe. No, it's not the frontal lobe. It's like a, I don't know. I can kind of see like certain things in my mind, like the word, but I can't piece it together. Eric said subconscious mind, right? That's not the word I'm looking for. Jazz said Neville Goddard all the way. Yeah, I like Neville Goddard as well. If you guys are Christian, Neville Goddard does come from a biblical standpoint if y'all want to learn about manifestation. Fanny said, I like how Dr. Joe Dispenza explains this on breaking the habit of being yourself. Hello, y'all. Eric said the trick is to think about the manifesting right before you fall asleep so that the last thing you thought about before your subconscious mind starts to accept the manifesting and making it real. Yeah, and it's also, Eric, the reason why you do think about your manifestations right before you go to sleep and right when you wake up is because you're in the theta stage. And theta stage is the most creative stage, and when your mind and your brain is more, it's easier to implement these beliefs in those moments. More fertile is the word. So yeah, and it was motivation versus manifestation. Yeah. Okay. Gabby said God made her more patient, kind, and aware. I'm going to find this word before the end of the live. I'm going to find this word before the end of the live. John, you said different wavelengths make sense. Yeah. And that's why I think with that story that I just told y'all about those kids, children are in theta stage more than adults are. So it's easier for children to manifest these things quicker than adults. That's why I think that happens so quickly for that little boy, is because he's already in a stage where these thoughts, he implements them, is going to be quicker for him to implement it in his life. Eric said, is there anything you have managed to manifest? Oh, yeah. I talk about it all the time. My whole entire life. My whole entire life. I will say, when I first moved to the state that I moved to, before I moved to this state, I used to say an affirmation about I always attract masculine, generous, I had a whole saying, and I haven't said this affirmation in so long, but I used to say it all the time. And when I moved to the state, when I tell you the men that I attracted were so generous and so supportive and so helpful, and I was struggling. I was struggling. And if it was not for the man that I attracted into my life, and I say because I affirmed that for myself for so long, I don't know what I would have done. I attracted masculine, generous men into my life. Many of them. So that's just one, and that's one that I haven't told my life. I've told my life many other stories. I manifested maybe about 4 jobs. Both of my cars are in a way manifested. I only have 1 car, but 1 car that I had before this car, and then the car that I have currently is like a manifestation. Because I said I wanted a white car with brown interior. I wanted it to be an Audi, but Audi is not yet in my budget. So I have a Nissan. Nissan is in my budget. And I love my car. I love my car to death. It's literally my car. Like, the exact car that I wanted. It's just a different brand. Okay, what else? Oh, I got a raise at the beginning of the year. And I told myself I wanted to make a certain amount of money every month. And the raise that I got was about that much. So there's a lot of things that I manifested. A lot. I manifest every day. I focus on it every single day. Tim, you said, can you explain to me what is the stimulation that I get in the pineal gland when I have smoked DMT and literally see an alternative reality close to dying? What's that about? I've never done DMT. I don't know. It's a psychedelic. So psychedelics, your pineal gland, isn't that the same? That's your third eye. So it's affecting your third eye. So you're seeing different dimensions is what I'm guessing. But I've never done DMT, so I don't know. John, you said kids still fresh to the spiritual world. Facts. Eric, you said, I think children can manifest better because they have a more open mind. I think as an adult, teens tend to overthink everything. Yeah, they do. That's why I try to teach my little brother. He's only like 17 years old. I be trying to teach him a little bit of the game so he can change for himself, do whatever he wants to manifest. John said the soul is the magnet, the spirit is the electricity. Ooh, I like that. Hearts Benjamin. Ali Baba Yaga said, effing insanity is the new normal. Hey, one up top. Think you've been here before. Hey, baby. What's up? Thank you. Let me try to find this. I'm about to try to find this part of the brain. It's a part of the brain. It's a literal part of the brain. Reticular activating system. Thank you to ChatGPT, because I just looked it up on Google and it was just giving me everything that I was not looking for. ChatGPT gave it to me quick. It's a part of the brain. That's why when I was talking to you guys earlier, I was saying when you learning about manifestation, there's so many pieces. You can learn about the body, the brain included, the nervous system included, all those things. If you are a practical person and you want to learn how to manifest, just study the body. Just study the body. If you don't think that manifestation is real, if you just study your body and just think about it in a very practical matter, you don't have to think about it as, oh, I'm doing magic. I'm being God. You are being your God of your reality. You're being God of your reality. Eric said, I do believe in manifestation, but I can't get myself to actually believe what I'm saying to myself. Do you have anything to teach about how to believe it? I can say it, but I never believe it. So for me, this is what I do every single night, because I've been trying to manifest something, and I'm someone who likes to manifest the vision. I believe if I can manifest the vision and feel that vision clearly and sense it through my physical body, if I can sense it through my physical body, then it will come eventually. So for me, the way that I do that is in my book, I look in this book every single day, literally. And I call this page 33. Now, I'm going to show you this. People say that the live is backwards, so you can screenshot it, and then you can go on your camera and reverse the image on your camera so you can see it better. So this right here is the journaling that I do every single night. It says how to shift unsupportive emotions to supportive emotions. So I do this journaling I'm not gonna say every single night, because last night I went out and I didn't get home until like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So it wasn't 4 o'clock in the morning. That's a little extreme. But I didn't get home until like 3 o'clock in the morning. So I was just too tired to journal. But I usually do this every night. And what it does for me is it shifts those emotions so for you, you have certain emotions that are telling you that certain emotions and thoughts that are telling you that these are not true for yourself. But when you start attaching your desires to an experience where you've already felt that same emotion, it's easier for it to manifest for you. So what I mean, Eric, I'm gonna try to give you an example. Let me see. So if I know my goal, number one, mind y'all, I really want to host like a Zoom meeting or something where I teach y'all how to do page 33. I think that's something on my plans to do, is to host a Zoom meeting, and that's what we'll talk about is page 33, and I'll be teaching you guys how to shift those emotions and do this. If you want to do this every single night and manifest whatever you want, this often does manifest motivation. Hi, Mr. Bo. Welcome back to the live, baby. Yeah, we did derail the topic. We definitely did derail the topic, Fana. You are so right. We definitely derailed the topic. But, yeah, we definitely did. Oh, my God. But I think we were at a halfway point, so I think it's okay. I think we got to a halfway point, and I think that we discussed a good amount. We probably could have talked more about what those looks like in action. We could have went a little deeper into what being patient, kind, and emotionally aware in relationships look like a little bit more in action. So maybe before we leave the live, I'll just end it with a little blurb of what that looks like in action. But yeah, Eric. So basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to attach what you're wanting to an experience where you've already felt that same emotion. So if you are wanting, let's say you want a new car, but it's not that you really want a new car, you want the emotion that the car provides to you. You're going to talk about, well, this is how I feel about me getting a new car. Maybe you feel scared because you don't have enough money. Maybe you feel like you don't have enough money to afford the car that you want. Maybe somebody done told you that you can't get the car. Maybe you feel ashamed. Maybe you feel guilty. I don't know. You're going to want to shift those emotions by saying, well, I really prefer to want to feel motivated. I want to feel confident. I want to know that I can get this car. Well, you're going to look at those 3 emotions that you're seeking to feel about your manifestation, and you're going to say, well, when in my life have I ever felt this? Don't ever stop and be like, well, I've never felt this, because you cannot want something that you never felt. I don't believe that you can want something that you've never felt. You're going to want something that you felt before. So you're going to say, when have I felt this? Well, I felt motivated, confident, and da-da-da-da when I started working at this one job. And this is why I felt this way. Well, now you can refeel that emotion. Then you're going to look and say, well, what does this job have in common with me getting a new car? And you're going to look at those similarities. You're going to look at those things that are not similar. And you're going to be like, well, this one thing is similar to this experience. Now you're anchored into that reality of your manifestation. I hope that makes sense. So when you shift your emotions and you compare it to an experience where you've already felt that emotion, it anchors you into your manifestation. That's what's going to motivate you to get it more. I'm good, Mr. Abode. Thank you for asking, my love. Eric, you said, so if I want a relationship, it's easier to believe it if you had an experience with that person, right? No, it's not about that person. It's not about the person. And a lot of times you don't have to manifest. Some people do manifest specific people, but I wouldn't suggest going and saying, I want this specific person. You want to manifest the feeling. Like, I wouldn't say just go around manifesting this like a cardboard copy of a physical being. Now, non-physical beings like a car, job, all those things, okay, that's different. But physical people, I don't think it's always that important, because you really want to manifest the spirit of somebody, not a physical person. That's just my beliefs. Shannon, we talking about manifestation. Not I'm the vice president. Not you coming back talking about I'm the vice president. Okay. Eric, you said like it gets easier to manifest if you have had experience that align with that beliefs. Yeah, but it's not, we're not manifesting based on experience. We're manifesting based on the emotions. Thank you, John. Thank you so much. We're manifesting the emotions. So, Eric, I would say stop worrying about what you see. Stop worrying about manifesting 3D things, physical things, and start manifesting the emotion that you're wanting. If you focus on manifesting that emotion, then you'll start to see more things happen that are aligned to who you are. Don't worry about, well, will the universe get my order right? You are aligned to particular things in your life, and the perfect thing will come for you. The perfect thing will come if you just focus on that emotion. Who am I talking to? I was talking to Eric. So before, I want to talk about the reticular activating system. It's a network of neurons in your brainstem, especially in the midbrain, that acts like your brain's attention filter. So that's why when you think about that Jeep, that's why you start seeing a Jeep everywhere, because it filters your attention. It decides what sensory information gets passed up to your conscious awareness. When you start focusing on something, say a certain type of car, your brain essentially tags that information as important. The RAS then boosts your sensitivity to sight, sound, or words related to that thing. It's kind of like when you learn a new word and suddenly hear it everywhere. Your brain didn't change the world, it just changed what you let in. It changed what you were paying attention to. Thank you, Mr. Abode. Thank you so much, my love. So, yeah. You can call your RAS the gatekeeper. That's what chat says. You can call it the gatekeeper, because it lets in what you focus on. And if my guy is not focused on this, you cannot get in the club. You can't get in the club and party with us. My guy's not focused on this. That's what it's saying. Your prefrontal cortex is focusing your attention. Okay. It's breaking down all the brain parts, and I don't want to go into it. I don't want to go into all the brain parts. Y'all have any other questions about that? So I hope y'all can manifest something. I hope. So if y'all don't have any other questions about that topic, we can go ahead and I'll just wrap up the live, and we'll talk about, I'll just summarize the conversation of being more patient, kind, and aware in your relationships with people, and what that looks like in action. Fanny, you said, how do you handle dreams? Do you just let them pass, or do you take the time to interpret them? Sometimes, if I feel like a highly emotional connection to the dream, I always try to interpret my dreams if I remember them. Like, I'm like, okay, I had this dream last night. What does this mean for me? What is that? I kind of always naturally do that. Like, okay, I'm running in a dream. What am I running from? Let's say I keep having dreams that I'm running. Okay, well, something's obviously happening. What am I running from? Let me try to think about it. I'm always trying to do something. Mr. Bo, you said, my job is the one that made you patient, kind, and aware. You know what, Mr. Bo, I'm so glad you said that, because my job has definitely done the same for me. If it wasn't for my job, I think I would be a lot more ignorant, and I would make a lot more ignorant statements if it wasn't for my job. Hey, Donnie. Because I do work with so many children on the spectrum with communication disorders, kids who have learning disorders, all those dyslexia, you know, all those things. When you work with these kids and you can see, okay, these kids do not have the functioning capacity compared to the average child. And I try to look at adults and I'm like, okay, if I see that there's something consistently off about this adult, something that maybe they just cannot comprehend, or they just keep doing stuff that don't make sense to me, I automatically be thinking like this person probably has some type of disability or disorder that I'm not aware of. And I've had so many situations where I've said that to people, and I've learned that I have to stop diagnosing people because people get upset. And I cannot legally diagnose people with stuff. Like, you know, like I can't diagnose somebody with a mental health issue. I'm not a mental health expert, but I can use my experiences and, you know, my knowledge to say, okay, something is off and you probably have a mental health disorder. And people have gotten upset with me, but I feel like every time that I say that, it's proven true. Like every time I've said that, I've proven to myself that, okay, this is true. Obviously, obviously. So I definitely do believe that it's making me more patient, kind and aware. And I really do try not to get so upset with people anymore, because if you just don't get it, it's like, okay, you just don't get it. And I'm not a teacher. I'm not your teacher. I'm not teaching you how to get it. So some ways that these characteristics, patient, kindness, and being aware, especially emotionally aware, real everyday life experiences and situations, what they look like is, number one, pausing before reacting to what people say. I found myself, sometimes I'll interrupt people. Elijah, what's your question, baby? Sometimes I'll interrupt people when I feel like I know exactly what they're about to say, and I'll like just finish the sentence sometimes, because I'm not patient. I'm not patient to listen to everything you about to tell me when I feel like I already know what you're about to tell me. So that is something that I can definitely work on, letting people finish their thoughts even when you disagree. Yeah, because when you interrupt people when you disagree, that's what creates arguing. That's why you start arguing with people, because now you're interrupting people. You're not allowing people to finish their thoughts. So do those things. Don't be trying to rush conversations. Allow people to, you know, finish their thoughts. Give space when time is needed to process information. Don't give a lot of information and then expect somebody to immediately respond to you. Allow them to be like, okay, I need a little bit of time. One thing that I get frustrated about when it comes to patience is when I'm like, well, how much time do you think that you'll need? And a person cannot tell me how much time they think that they need. I get very impatient, because I'm somebody who's like, okay, if I need to get ready to go out tonight, I know that I need an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I know that it's going to take me 30 minutes to get to the destination. And I know that I'm going to need time to find a parking spot. So time management to me is like common sense. Time management to other people is not common sense. So, you know, giving people space to figure it out. Elijah, that's why I ignored your question, because why are you asking that question? That don't have nothing to do with any other conversations that we had today. Kindness said, choosing words that build, not break. So instead of saying that's stupid, what you saying don't make no sense, like what I just said to Elijah, I see what you mean. I see that you're trying to get to a point, but that point does not support the conversation at hand, Elijah. And yes, Clonger, I am a sage. Kindness is doing small, thoughtful things without expecting a reward. Some of these people, I've seen men, there are men who will take a woman out on a date, spin a grip on that date, and then expect that woman to open her legs just because they spent money and they had a good time. And it's like, that's not kind behavior. That's also not patient behavior. That's not patient behavior. Clonger, I am a sage because I support other people's spiritual journeys. And yeah, period. That's why. So what also makes you kind is showing grace when they made mistakes instead of shaming them. Don't shame people. I will shame people. I do not want to be that kind. I do want to shame people. I think that that is the best part about being human, is that I can choose what I do and don't want to do. So I don't always want to be kind to everybody. I want some people to feel stupid when they do things that I don't like. Particularly the people in real life. In real life, I'm seeing you in real life. I have to interact with you every day. Some people need to be ashamed of themselves and some of the things that they do. Shame does change behavior. So, emotional awareness, what does this look like in everyday life? That means noticing subtle changes in their body language, tone, or mood. I think women are better at this because a lot of women are more emotionally aware. I do think it's because of cultural and societal things that makes women more emotionally aware. And also, you know, we have estrogen that runs through our body that allows us to be more emotionally aware as well. Osis said tough love, then tender correction. Okay. I like that. I like it. Also asking what's really going on. You know, people have issues, and I feel like misunderstandings come because people hear what people say and they translate it to something else instead of being like, okay, I know that this person does not mean me harm. So how about we figure out what's the real issue so we can battle the issue and not each other. A lot of times people get into disagreements and they start battling each other when if they really focus on the right topic and the right thing at hand, they could be battling that situation, overcoming it, and building a better and healthier relationship and a much stronger relationship. The issue is not that y'all are disagreeing about where y'all gonna eat tonight. The issue could be something deeper, like, well, you know, I feel like we eating pizza 2 days in a week, 2 days every single day, and I want to be healthier. I want to feel more motivated. I'm tired. My body is getting drained from eating pizza. You want pizza, and the other person's like, well, I want pizza because I've been so busy. This is the only thing that I feel like I can think about every day is pizza. You know, you start looking at what is happening at hand. Maybe you don't gotta get pizza. And maybe y'all can figure one person get pizza, another person do this. Y'all ain't gotta argue about what y'all gonna eat for dinner, you know? Another thing is being aware of your own emotional state before starting a conversation so you don't spill frustration onto them. And I've had to deal with this. I've had to relax myself. This is one thing why I started writing letterheads. I make a letterhead with a whole letter with peer-reviewed articles instead of battling people, because I realized that when I get frustrated, it shows. So let me just put it on paper. Take a few days before I can communicate. Usually once I put it on paper, then I'm able to process the information better compared to just, you know, speaking about the things that I want. And then owning your feelings with I statements. I felt hurt when, instead of you made me feel da da da. I actually had a conversation with my therapist about this. It's the I statements. And when you start pointing fingers, that's what caused more issues. When you just say, I felt sad when you did not open the door for me because it makes me feel like I am not prioritized. Although I know that you love me and that you want to prioritize me, when you didn't open that door and you just let that door slam in my face, it made me feel like you got other bitches. That's where my mind started going real quick. I go 0 to 100 real quick. So in real life, this is the example that they gave us. Your partner is short with you after work. Short meaning they don't want to have a long, drawn-out conversation. You say, how was your day? They say, good. What'd you eat for lunch? McDonald's. You know, they're not elaborating about these experiences. That's what they mean when they say short. Instead of snapping back like, you got a problem? What's tea? Do we got beef? Instead of doing that, you notice that they're tense and give them a moment and say, you seem stressed out, baby. Do you want to talk about it, or do you need some quiet time first? And allow them to choose what's best for them. It says that combo, patience, kindness, and emotional awareness signals, I'm on your team, baby. I just want the best for you, sweetie. Even when you're not in full agreement. Period. Fantasizing and manifestation works the same. Yeah. It's like daydreaming, fantasizing, and visualization. Those are all different. Those are all different things. Visualization is the better way to go because when you visualize, you get the sensory input as well. So when I want you to start focusing on sensory experiences when you're visualizing. Fantasizing seems more like abstract and like it's further from you. We want that experience that we're trying to manifest to be anchored within ourselves, which is why you want to focus on sensory input. John, you said Meiana gonna be a great wife and mother. Thank you. What made you say that? Clonger said, life is a problem-solving exercise. Oh, wait, let me see what you said. Somebody said, that's your opinion. Clonger, you said, for a person, sage primarily means someone who is regarded as wise and possessing deep knowledge, often gained through experience and contemplation. Thank you, babe. That's exactly what I am. You're just stating your personal opinion. No, baby. I named myself Sage because since I was a very young child, I feel like in my mind, I've always been regarded as very smart, very intelligent. And then as I gotten older, many adults, literally like 50s plus 40s, 50s. When I was 18, there was people in their 40s, 50s telling me I'm very wise for my age. I'm very knowledgeable for my age. Then as I started to get on YouTube, I started realizing a lot more people were telling me, oh my God, you're very wise. You're very intelligent. You're very supportive. And I also do tarot. I do a lot of spiritual work. So I support people through different means. So thanks, Clonger, for giving us that definition, because that is exactly why I named myself the Sage. You said, let's have a meaningful conversation about life. Let's expand. How do you want to have a meaningful conversation about life? You said people need to help resolve problems and not create them. Help each other. Everyone wins. You said your mindset being accountable and wisdom. Thank you so much, John. Thank you, Tofu. You said being selfish creates anxiety for everyone. Yeah. I think with Clonger, is on the same page. That's another reason why I don't just say my age on here, because I do believe once you start saying your age, people will literally be like, you are this, you can't have these realities, you can't have these beliefs. A lot of people have limiting the beliefs that age makes somebody wise, age makes somebody intelligent. I've had enough experiences in my life where the older people they just did not get it. They just cannot comprehend. And sometimes older people have to realize that this generation has so much access to so much information that it's highly likely that we're going to get through this information and experiences a lot quicker, as long as we are not so engaged in the virtual world every day, and we take this information that we get online and we implement it in our daily lives and we make it very practical. We have a higher chance to be wiser than the older generation, because we're processing information a lot quicker. You know, it's like when you have an old dishwasher, that dishwasher still works, but it's just an older version, versus a more upgraded dishwasher that has all the inputs, maybe even the refrigerators that got the smart TV, and now you can get the recipes on the TV on the refrigerator. It works just as well as the white refrigerator. They do the same job. This refrigerator is just processing information and stuff a lot quicker and more supportive to the environment that it's in. Either way, they both get the job done. GR said, keep what you disagree with to a minimum. I agree with her. I do like seeing people's beliefs when they disagree, though. And as you can see, a lot of times when people disagree, they don't come with valid facts or anything to base it on. A lot of times, if people disagree and they come with valid facts or something that really makes sense, it can expand our conversation. I'm not saying that I'm always right. I'm not always 100% right. That's why I come on here and we have these conversations together, because y'all expand my understanding. Literally, sometimes there's things that I don't think about. Just like when a Bo came in and he was talking about his job, it literally made me think, oh wow, I'm great. Now I'm anchored into that mental reality of I'm grateful for my job for allowing me to be more patient, kind, and aware. But before that, I didn't think about my job whatsoever. So as long as it's like respectful, I don't care if y'all disagree. Osis said that's the definition of a quintessential woman for me. I never heard of that word. Quintessential. Always coming from that nurturing place to input and realizing their need for masculine structure for that nature to blossom. Yeah. Yes. John said, age ain't real. Clonger said, if someone causes you problems, everyone suffers. You reap what you sow. John, you said I'm reincarnated. I guess so. I actually talked to one of my favorite psychics. I don't go to psychics all the time, but when I first started getting into the spiritual bag, I used to go to her all the time. Well, not all the time. Every time they would have an event, which was like every quarter. So I would go to her like once every quarter. And she was telling me that I was reincarnated. That's why I always be like, shout out to India, because I was Indian in my past life. Because she was telling me how I was Indian in my past life. And I was like, there were certain experiences in life where people around me who she said was in that lifetime with me was very attracted to the Indian culture. And I used to be like, why is this person so attracted to this culture? Then when she told me that, I was like, oh, well, she's just focused on something that she was in her past life, you know? So I do feel like I was Indian. I probably was everything in my past life. I probably was you, John. I was probably you. Who knows? But Fana said, definitely you come off as someone who reads a lot of books. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Osis said, we are in the age of Aquarius, age of knowledge and information, breaking the old paradigm of control. Yep. Yep. Intuition is stronger these days. Yeah. John said, at least have receipts. That's all I need is some receipts. That's all I need. Clonger said, people need to give their ego a holiday for a while. And the thing about it, that Clonger is not wrong in the things that he's saying. I think it's just that the way that Clonger came into the conversation, it seemed like he was going against the conversation. But, you know, it's not incorrect. You say you study philosophy, psychology, and neuroscience. Yeah. It's just that when, you know, we talked about coming off as kind earlier and emotionally aware. Hey, B, welcome back. Y'all want to have any other conversations, or y'all just want to keep conversating? I'm thinking about ending the live in just a little bit. It's a such thing as ego death. Yeah, have y'all ever had an ego death? I don't know if I've ever had that before. You said was trying to sleep but can't sleep, thinking of you so much, so you came back. Oh my. I've never had an ego death, I don't think. Oh yeah, and my girl Rome with Romy just came out with her new case study part 2. Y'all know I'm about to go watch this case study. I love me a good case study. Being kind and helping each other out is easy. Ooh. You said it's okay. Don't blush, my girl. You know I'm blushing. Y'all, I gotta get up. I got a couple of things I gotta do today. But I really did enjoy this conversation. We did get off the topic. There was a reason, I just can't remember why. But I do think I enjoyed the way that I wrapped it up. So if anybody is watching the replay, they'll get that wrap-up information about, you know, what those patience, kindness, and awareness looks like in real life. Fana said you were Indian in your past life. Do you like spicy food in your present life? No, not really. I only say that because that's what that psychic told me, and you know, my real life experiences added up. She also said that I was in Europe, and she said I was burned at the stake in Europe for being a witch. And I said that's probably why I never wanted to go to Europe. I literally, people be like, oh, France, so Europe, you know, UK, maybe UK. I might go to the UK. I know a lot of people from the UK. But I literally used to be like, I will literally throw up if I had to go to Europe. I used to always think that. And then when she said that, I was like, that makes so much sense. I thought it was because I'm a black woman. And Europe it didn't give that, even though it's a lot of black people in Europe. But when she said that, I said, oh, that's why I never wanted to go to Europe. Mr. Bo, you say you are different from other people. I love you too, B Hesso. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to find my community on here, y'all. That's why I'm trying to find my community on here. Because I know that I'm different. But at the same time, there's a lot of people who share similar beliefs as me. It may not be the exact same, but it's beliefs that can expand my own understanding. And that's why I want to show up on live as much as possible. Because the more that I show up on here with y'all, the more we keep expanding each other's knowledge and understanding of the world, the more that we'll grow as a unit. Thank you, GR. I appreciate you. Do I use Instagram? I need to get an Instagram, y'all. It's on my to-do list. Everybody keep asking for Instagram. It's on my to-do list. I already had an Instagram. I think what I'll do is I'll just change my name to Meiana the Sage on that Instagram, and I'll just start showing you guys. Because I used to post a lot about manifestation on Instagram. I do use TikTok. My name on TikTok is Meiana's Mindset or Meiana the Sage. And on my TikTok, all I do on my TikTok is just repost the shorts. I'm not as active on TikTok when it comes to coming on live. Come here, baby. You want to say hi to the live? Y'all, now he got my hair on him. Y'all want to say hi to y'all's nephew? You said you'll be the first to follow me on Instagram. Yeah, I need to get that Instagram together. But I do want to just focus on YouTube as much as possible. I really do appreciate how much it's not just appreciative. I'm like a little bit in awe of how much I'm growing on YouTube just by going on live every day. So I want to kind of keep this momentum. And I think that when I start spreading that energy of having to post on all these other platforms, is going to overwhelm me. And I don't want to get overwhelmed. So I want to take it slowly. And I really want to focus majority on my growth on YouTube. You said, I agree that through this technology, we can globally connect to create a healthier place. Yes. And then we can globally connect, and then we can start creating real life experiences where we do meetups, and we can have these conversations, and we can focus on the things that we're interested in. We growing together. Yes. We getting rich together. Y'all ever seen that meme? We getting rich together. Mr. Ball said that cat is very lucky. Yes, it's my baby. He said, seriously, I really loved y'all from the bottom of my heart. Gosh, you're so pretty. Thank you, baby. I'm gonna get off of here. Y'all see this cat going to sleep? Y'all, his name is Red. Y'all see he going to go to sleep so bad. If y'all have a cat, you got to be firm when you tap on him. That's what they like. They don't like that little soft stuff. You got to be like, boom, 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 boom. He love it. I swear to God, he loves it so much. This could be ASMR right here. I hope you know Northeast India, because I'm from Northeast India. I got to go to Northeast India. I'm from America. I can't wait to go to India one day. I heard it's a lot of people, though. I get overwhelmed when it's a lot of people. So that's my only thing, because I don't want to go to India and then I'd be stuck in the middle of the street where it's like a four-way street and then everybody driving chaotically. I will never go back to India. If I have to experience that, I will get overwhelmed. So I got to go with somebody who's going to drive me around or something. How's Minnesota? I've never been to Minnesota. But I love y'all so much. Look, he being nosy. He heard somebody outside. He's so nosy. Did y'all hear them people outside? You see how his eyes opened up wide when he heard them people outside just being nosy. But okay, y'all. I'm going to go. Where do you live in America? I live in a state of abundance. Have you ever heard of that state? You said you are a typical American and you will be. I told you before. Okay, y'all. I love y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all enjoy y'all's day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Baby, say bye. Bye, y'all. I will. I'm going to visit the India. I'm going to visit. Bye, y'all. How do I get this eggs? There we go.